now we've got our, what is referred to as the billet. So we have our billet. It's got a nice shape to it.
To weave a yard, it depends on the material. It depends if I'm at an event talking to people, if I'm at home.
So we're going to use our hatchet. I haven't actually stropped this yet this morning, so I'm going to do a little bit of stropping, which basically is just a piece of wood with some leather on it and a little bit of polishing compound. And that basically helps to remove any burrs that might have formed on that edge. So to make sure that that edge is really nice and sharp.
Silk is, I love working in silk because it's got that texture, that really nice luxurious feel.
So now we'll use our hatchet just to start shaping that piece.
It is thinner. Silk and so this one kind of reminds me of that. My least favorite is and they're much more utilitarian. They do soften with wear and with washing, but they're very hard and very durable. So they make for wonderful utilitarian ties, like your pocket tie, or if you have.
So now I'm just straightening up the sides. I know what the shape that I want, so I'm just shaping that up a little bit, getting it to where I would have thought it would have been more. But as I'm cleaning this up, I can kind of see the grain. I can kind of confirm that grain structure a little bit.
I just finished that one yesterday, so that one has that nice stiffness from the wood. So it's so easier.
What, have you done it while the wood is still green like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. You want to, for the tools of the 18th century, you're going to want to work with green wood.
Okay.
For the most part, our modern tools are very high in carbon. They're very durable, whereas 18th century tools, they're made of mild steel with only a hardened steel bit. So you want something that is a wood that's a little bit easier to carve, because the tools will do better with it. And when you start using a really piece of hard, dry wood, it becomes very brittle, and the tools that you're using can actually damage the piece.
They're pretty impressive. It's a lot of variety here. You would think it'd be not just one or two colors.
Yeah, so we've kind of created that bowl that rounds back.
I do take liberties and I put colors that I like because honestly not everybody wants the same exact pattern. Every one of these linen tapes.
Yeah, this is a great learning experience for kids too as well. So there's going to be a lot of parents and grandparents explaining stuff to their children and grandchildren. It's great for also the homeschooler as well.
Yeah, so now we have a really good start. We can see where the bowl is turning back. Here's the handle. So I can start shaping up what will be the bowl of that spoon. Start laying out that spoon. So I'm going to use what's called a porta crayon. So this is an 18th century pencil. We're going to, right where that bowl starts to turn back towards the handle, just going to draw a line. And now somewhere right in the middle,
they can put it on and suddenly keep your
Yes.
there you go.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that works. There.
Darling, I have the stamp. You can get out.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So now I have these lines drawn on here, and these are called relief cut lines. So as I start carving off the handle, I don't accidentally break off the bowl. There. So I'm using what's called a frame saw, for a saw frame.
What would they use for the saw part?
So you would typically oftentimes get just the iron or just the saw portion, and then you would build your frame. So this is a piece that you would purchase. If you've ever heard of if you ever run into anyone with the last name Cutler. So a cutler is someone that will saw the teeth or file the teeth into the iron. They also make cutlery.
Right. That's where that word comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we are. So we've kind of put those relief cuts in there. We're going to use our adze. We're just going to use that to take the shoulders of that spoon off.
Do you guys have any questions? I know I'm dressed funny, you can be shy, it's okay. I just wanted to check. Do you have any questions?
Did we make the swords in America?
They really didn't. We imported most of the iron tools from England, from Sheffield specifically. Here in Pennsylvania, we did have iron quarries and iron furnaces where we pulled out of the ground pig iron, but we sent that raw material overseas for them to use. They had the manufacturing technology, they had the history behind it. It wasn't until later that we were able to start making those manufacturing facilities ourselves here. But the products themselves have changed very much. So really, that's what I
See how I was shaping up?
There's a neighborhood.
Do you want to get your book? Yeah, so in Philadelphia, there was a gentleman that lived in Potsdam town called John and he actually owned a farm.
That other tool that you just used, can you still buy that today? I want to go home and make
Yeah,
one
so
of
the
these.
adze,
Adze,
you
yeah.
can still
when Jay's
find,
talking
you can
about
still
his
find
phones
an adze similar to this.
What is the word? Add?
An adze, A-D-Z-E, and this is
Adze.
actually what is referred to as a Cooper's adze. Yeah, just be careful, it's very sharp.
Wow, it's got some weight.
Yeah.
So you can still go to like Home Depot?
Not Home Depot. You can find more select type of wood carving supply stores
Okay.
will have adze. People are still doing, actually even more so now. There's a whole new discovery of timber framing and green woodworking.
Right.
So people are rediscovering these tools, these adze and hatchets.
Won't make them like they used to.
Yeah. So my tools are typically antique tools that I've been able to bring back to life.
Wow.
Or give a second life. There we are. So we're kind of getting that. This is going to have an interesting little turn to it, but we'll see how
You're
that
very
works out.
welcome.
We're kind of going with the flow of the wood. The wood kind of determines how that particular piece is going to be shaped. So I'm making another little cut in with my frame saw. This is basically as I start to develop what's called the crank of the spoon.
You guys want to
So use my little hatchet and just start creating a nice little drop. So where the handle kind of drops down a little bit. There we are. So now I'm gonna grab
spoon. So cool.
This is a slightly different type of adze. So this is what's referred to as a bowl adze. So if you're carving a bowl, this is the adze that you'll use. The nice thing is that it does a wonderful job in hollowing out the back side of this spoon. There, so we've got So we got that nice little, where the bowl kind of turns up a little bit. I'm just gonna bring this over here to my shave horse.
you.
Yeah, and so we're just going to use that. And you can kind of see why they would refer to it as a shaved horse.
Sure.
It is, it's kind of bites down.
Oh, okay.
So you can almost hear it go when you sit down on it.
So it's almost like a vice.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Can I ask
Yep.
you a question?
Very much like a
When you
vice.
go to a friend's house,
Gives you that extra pair of hands that you need as you're working this piece of wood,
No, you wouldn't have to take your own.
holding it in place while you use your draw knife.
If you were in the 1700s, if this was your spoon, you'd have to take it with you wherever you went, because not everybody can silverware.
So just shaping the front part of that spoon, rounding that off a little bit.
Families could only afford one per person, and some families,
Actually,
in Wales,
I'm gonna take it right back
He's
here
using,
again
he's using a draw knife.
in the 1700s, they didn't have the money to have
and turn my draw knife and use it in a push fashion to kind of round off the back side of
right out of
that bowl.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy. Everybody would have to share the same pot.
So it's really cool because you can see original spoons depending on where they sat at the table, and if they were right or left-handed, the spoon is where from going into the pot. Because everybody
So now we're gonna switch over. Just gonna use our carving knife
So your spoon would be
to just start
different
shaping
than
up
Mommy's since you're
Yep.
a lefty.
Now, do you have any brothers or sisters?
that bowl.
With one? Are you the
Rounding
older
it
one or
off.
the younger one? So if you have an old, I have an older brother, and if he broke my spoon, I'd have to find a replacement spoon too. Or I'd have to make one. Do you think you could do that?
Or get that nice and rounded off.
I think you couldn't if you had to. If you had to figure out how to, but right now probably not, huh? You would just go get it out of the drawer.
Right now we have silverware. I know. I have silverware. My mother-in-law is a
Just kind of shape up that handle a little bit.
So you wanna, when you,
Now this one started off as kind of a larger cooker spoon. It may finish its life off as an eater, but we'll see how it goes.
There you go.
pretty cool.
Sir, have you broken many pieces of wood?
You know,
Welcome.
over the years, I won't say that I'm perfect, because over the years I have broken many spoons which I really thought were going to be great spoons. But sometimes you don't really know where the flaws are in a piece of wood until you really start working it. And then once you start working it, you can really notice, like, okay, well, this had this little bit of grain that probably should have been removed. But we just kind of work with it while we have it. You do have to be careful about applying too much pressure, too much tension. As the wood dries, you can give too much tension, make something more brittle, but that's one of the nice things about using green wood that has a little bit of moisture to it, is that you can be a little bit more aggressive in the cutting without necessarily worrying about what they call shivering, which is basically splitting the wood or delaminating the grain.
We have a few in our collection, but we don't bring them out to the public just because how they are at the age of them and if something happens. Now I will say one of the really cool things that Jay does is all of these spoons are hand carved with the tools and techniques of that 18th century.
So we're getting that.
So if you
Gonna have a
see
really
finish
nice handle there.
that, or like,
So now we're gonna start
this one,
shaping up
any of them. Or
shaping
if
up
you
the
see a
bowl
shape
of that
the bowl,
spoon.
or if you see that it has a crank to it, or it's completely flat, all of those details are actually historic. And we can tell you the age of the original spoon that you're basing it off of, based on the bowl shape or the crank of the spoon.
So I'm going to use what's called a
this
hook
one
or
here
a
is really
crook
flat.
knife.
This is an
Use this to kind of hollow out the inside of that spoon.
antique stores, flea markets. A lot of people don't realize what they've got. But yeah, it's really cool. And like even this style here, where there's a step down before you have the handle, that tells Jay
Actually, I might
place
move my...
or era for where that spoon originally would have been found.
Use one of these for mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving.
They work great. I use wood exclusively.
Oh yeah.
That way I'm not hiding behind my shave horse when I'm doing that.
That was her candy making, and that's the only one that I have that's not wood. I have all variety, like 30 or 40 spoons for various purposes. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, our our wood is all locally sourced, so it's not getting imported, it's not getting sprayed with pesticides, it's not getting treated with chemicals, it's not getting, like we put food-grade flat soil on here to keep them oiled. If you get a spoon from Walmart or something like that, they might be putting polyurethane on it, and then you have all the off-gassing of the chemicals. So all of ours are, like I said, ethically sourced, ethically treated. Historically, we do everything in the 18th century, so we're not putting toxics back into your.
So I'm using this smaller hook, this almost perfectly round hook, and this is going to help me kind of hollow out that bowl fairly quickly. But then I will switch over to a more shallow hook, which allows me to put a much nicer surface on the inside of that spoon.
In their kitchen, just because most of their foods that they're eating are stew or soup based. They're not getting the individual courses like the upper class are, and most of the time they're not getting like a platter of meat. They put the meat into the stew to make the stew last longer. So a spurtle. And spurtle simply means to. So
we have a nice, kind of a slightly more shallow spoon or a knife here.
And it's just dancing in figure eights.
This is great. I didn't know what I was getting into today with the grandkids.
Hey, you never know.
So we're going to use that slightly more shallow spoon, and you can see it's removing all of those ridges, all those gutters that were left behind by the other hook.
So you are welcome to stay as long as you want, and you
allows me to put a much finer surface on that spoon.
We'll be here all day till 3 or 4, whenever it ends. How are you guys today? Wow. So those are considered bowl scrapers, and historically those are precursors to a rubber special. So yes, but also no. And then you can see we have a variety of shapes, and that includes the bowl.
So I'm also trying to maintain a nice even thickness all the way around. If you're, when the spoon, as the spoon dries, it can crack, and it's most likely to crack in the areas where there's a little bit thicker area, because that's where the tension is going to kind of build up. So you want to be mindful about the thickness, making it all uniform all the way around on all sides, so that way you're not creating any unnecessary tension in the spoon. So I'm just kind of constantly stopping and just checking that thickness as I work around.
So there's another that we call those spreaders. They're basically the same thing as a bowl scraper, but they're smaller for like charcuterie trays or jams or jellies or peanut butter. You can get into the. I have one just like this size.
You got a very nice.
Big thing of peanut butter. One swipe in, one swipe across the bread, and I'm done.
So I'm just gonna grab another carving knife and just kind of finish up that edge a little bit more.
All these are home handmade.
They are all. Everything on this table. Was made, including the table, was made by my husband Jay, who makes techniques all the time. So the tools he's demonstrating today, those are the ones that he actually used to make these, because all of these were made at work events. So these are skewers. They have two purposes. One, they can be used as a replacement for fork. You find a few metal ones, but they're too time, and most of them can't be used to the population. But they're also really great for rotisserie chicken.
So as I'm carving around, I'm making sure I'm keeping an eye on that edge that I've created there.
The chicken sits like this, and then you tie off strings to the four corners, and you twirl it. And once you've got all the strings twirled all the way up, you let it go, and it just spins. And then when it gets to the bottom, it spins the other direction.
Trying to maintain that shape.
Slow or medium fire, and it'll cook your chicken. It's like a rotisserie. If you store enough, they're cheap enough, you can always get more historically, but over again.
Now the tools will get smaller and smaller as the spoon gets closer and closer to being finished.
We have a lot of mulberry, which is this yellow, some walnut, coffee wood, sassafras, cherry. This is actually some black birch, red bud, dogwood. That one I think is pear.
I have a little bit of a split in that handle, so
Yeah,
I'm
all
trying to
sorts of
work
nice
that
hardwoods.
split out. I'll probably save that for another time.
He gets that question a lot, and he always answers with cherry is one of his favorites to work. It smells really nice, it's consistent, it's a great structure. He likes walnut because he said when he's carving it, carving hurts not work. I like that.
There we are. So
My favorite's
from log to spoon. So now again, when we get to the point where we're ready to start finishing the spoon, we'll use what's called a card scraper. So this is a card scraper, and we'll just use our card scraper like so. And this wood still has a lot of moisture in it. Doesn't work as well to really smooth or finish, but you can see it's going to shave, take off these really fine shavings. And we have a little bit of a rounded part here on the front, which will allow us to scrape the inside of that bowl as well. Make that really nice and smooth. So this one will have to sit and dry for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll be ready to finish it. All right, just have my stringer up. Yes, so he's going to go right here with my other for now.
So there you go. There's the process of making a spoon, a wooden spoon.
So this is where we started.
Showing you where we started.
This is where we started, and this is where we finished.
All right.